Hi everybody. In this video, we are going to discuss about the life cycle of Ant-amoeba histolytica. Life cycle of Ant-amoeba histolytica. In the previous video, we started about this particular protozoan which is causing amoebiasis, which is causing a disease called as amoebiasis. So this is the name of the pathogen Ant-amoeba histolytica, which is causing a disease called as amoebiasis. So here we have to remember that this particular organism or pathogen we are calling Ant-amoeba histolytica is responsible for causing a disease called as what? Amoebiasis. Okay, it is responsible for causing a disease called as amoebiasis. Okay, so how this disease is caused we studied, and now how this particular organism, okay, Ant-amoeba histolytica, will be completing its life cycle we are going to discuss in this video. Now we are going to discuss in this video. So here Ant-amoeba histolytica will be undergoing different stages in completing its life cycle. And please remember, for completing its life cycle, it will be involving only one host. That host is what? We, the humans. So it will be using the humans as the host to complete its life cycle. So whenever a species or an organism which is using one host to complete its life cycle, we also said that as what? Monogenetic, we said. Okay, monogenetic, which means that a pathogen which uses one species or one host to complete its life cycle. So in humans, now what is the monogenetic here? It is the humans. Okay, humans which are used to complete the life cycle now. So here the humans are used as the host to complete the life cycle. So here it will be undergoing different stages to complete its life cycle. Where this process will be taking place means in the large intestine. Humans' large intestine is the place where it will be undergoing the complete life cycle. Large intestine is the location. So here we are going to discuss about different stages in the life cycle of Ant-amoeba histolytica. So the first one, okay, the first one here is the trophozoite stage. Okay, the first one is the trophozoite stage. Okay, the first one is trophozoite stage, and the second one is the pre-cystic stage. Okay, pre-cystic stage, and the last one, the third one, is the cystic stage. Okay, cystic stage. These are the three, okay, stages in the life cycle of Ant-amoeba histolytica. In the life cycle of Ant-amoeba histolytica. So let us remember that these are the different stages. Okay, these are the different stages in the life cycle of Ant-amoeba histolytica. So now we will discuss about the first one, trophozoite. We are going to discuss about the first one, trophozoite. So here if you are looking at the trophozoite stage, okay, trophozoite stage, it is more, okay, most active stage of the Ant-amoeba histolytica. It is the most active stage. Okay, it is the most active stage, and it is the feeding stage. Okay, it is the feeding stage, and we can say that it is a pathogenic stage. Okay, it is the pathogenic stage. So here we have to remember these 3 points. It is very active, most active, feeding stage, and here most active means we can say it as the motile. Okay, motile, most active means motile. We can say, let us say, motile, feeding stage, and pathogenic stage. We call it as pathogenic stage. So here with these points we can also say that this trophozoite is another point that we have to remember here is that this trophozoite is enclosed by a membrane called as plasma lemma. Okay, it is enclosed by a membrane called as plasma lemma. And as we said that this particular Ant-amoeba histolytica is attacking, or where it is present, it is in the large intestine. And we know the 4 layers of the intestine. Okay, we know the 4 layers of the intestine. The first layer will be called as what? The serosa. Okay, the first layer we call it as the serosa. And the second layer that will be there, okay, is the muscularis. Okay, second layer that will be there as the muscularis, and the third layer that will be there is called as submucosa. Okay, submucosa, and the last layer that will be there is called as what? The mucosa, enclosing what? The lumen. Okay, enclosing the lumen. Now why we have to look at the digestive system? Okay, those 4 layers are because we highlighted here that it is residing in the large intestine. in the large intestine. Exact location of this particular ant amoeba histolytica we are going to look at here now. So here ant amoeba histolytica will be present in the mucosa and submucosa of the large intestine. So in these two layers, what is present now? The ant amoeba histolytica will be present. So you have to remember this. Where in the large intestine ant amoeba histolytica is present? It is present in the submucosa and mucosa of the large intestine. So here we will directly write it as the submucosa and mucosa of what? The large intestine. This particular organism is present. So submucosa and mucosa is the area or the place in the large intestine where ant amoeba histolytica will be present. And if you see this ant amoeba histolytica, it will be also showing food vacuoles. And it also shows ribosomes. And moreover, it is having even a very clear nucleus. A distinct nucleus will be there. But please remember, when we talk about this nucleus, it is a point of identification. That is, the nucleus is vesicular and cartwheel shaped. So here, this is a very important point we have to keep in mind. Okay, keep in mind regarding the nucleus of ant amoeba histolytica, which is in cartwheel shape. So here, see here, if you are looking at, there are food vacuoles we are saying, there are ribosomes that are there, and nucleus is also there, which is vesicular and cartwheel shape. But at the same time, please remember that there will be no contractile vacuoles. And there will be no, let me use this. There are no contractile vacuoles. There is no endoplasmic reticulum. There is no Golgi complex or Golgi apparatus. And there is not even mitochondria. So here, another point we have to remember. Because we are saying that there is no mitochondria, because we are saying that there is no mitochondria in the ant amoeba histolytica. It is this organism, it is undergoing an obligate anaerobic organism, or we can call this organism now as what? Obligate anaerobic in nature, or it indicates, let us say, that absence of mitochondria indicates that this organism is obligate anaerobic in nature. This is also a very important point we have to remember. Please remember this. Because of the absence of mitochondria, we should remember that ant amoeba histolytica is an obligate anaerobic in nature. A very important point. We have to keep this point in our mind. So here, already what we said, that this particular ant amoeba histolytica is present in the large intestine, in submucosa and mucosa. We are saying it is present in the submucosa and mucosa. How it enters into the submucosa and mucosa? Say suppose if this is the cells, if these are the cells, now this particular organism will be producing one very important enzyme, a very important enzyme called as histolysine. Histolysine is an enzyme. Histolysine is an enzyme produced by what? Ant amoeba histolytica. So you have to remember this point, histolysine. So histolysine has the ability, it is an enzyme What type of enzyme is? You can say it as the proteolytic enzyme. It is a proteolytic enzyme. Okay, it is a proteolytic enzyme which can digest the submucosa and mucosa, which can digest the mucosa and submucosa, so that this Entamoeba histolytica penetrates inside into the submucosa and mucosa. There it starts multiplying. So here you have to remember another point is that histolysine, a proteolytic enzyme produced by Entamoeba histolytica, which will be helping in digesting the submucosa and mucosa of the gut, that is digestive system, and enters inside into the cells for its growth and development. And here there are 2 points, very important points, as the characteristic features of the Entamoeba histolytica of trophozoite stage. So what are the clear-cut characteristic features of trophozoite stage? So here, if you are looking at the characteristics, okay, okay, of trophozoite stage, okay, trophozoite stage, 2 important points are there. Here we already highlighted that there are food vacuoles, isn't it? Food vacuoles. So in food vacuoles, there will be the presence of RBC. Okay, RBC will be present. That is important point. This is the characteristic feature of the trophozoite of Entamoeba histolytica. And another point I already mentioned there, that nucleus, okay, that is present in the trophozoite stage of Entamoeba histolytica is in what shape? Means you should remember that it is cartwheel shape. Okay, cartwheel shape. So here these 2 points, okay, let us say that this has 1 and 2. These are the 2 characteristic features of trophozoite. Okay, trophozoite stage. So here these are the points that we have to remember when we talk about what? The life cycle of Entamoeba histolytica. So remember the characteristic features of trophozoite. Now the second one, or the second stage of the Entamoeba histolytica is pre-cystic stage. Okay, pre-cystic stage. Now when you look at this pre-cystic stage, okay, right after it is followed by what? The trophozoite stage. Now in the pre-cystic stage, we have to remember that this Entamoeba histolytica is non-pathogenic. Okay, it is non-pathogenic. In the previous one, trophozoite, we said it is pathogenic. Okay, non-pathogenic, we should remember. Okay, it is non-pathogenic and it is non-motile. Okay, it is non-motile and no feeding. Okay, no feeding. It will not feed. It will not be feeding. So this is what we have to remember when we talk about the pre-cystic stage of Entamoeba histolytica. It's just quite opposite to the first one called as trophozoite stage. We are using pre-cystic, means what? Just before cystic form. So here it is non-pathogenic, non-motile and non-feeding. Okay, non-feeding. We have to remember these 3 points. Okay, these 3 points we have to remember. And another point regarding the pre-cystic stage is that this one, okay, we are going to look at what are the other characteristics. So here pre-cystic stage, which we are saying as non-pathogenic, non-motile and non-feeding. Okay, it will not be feeding. And this pre-cystic stage, in the pre-cystic stage, okay, this Entamoeba histolytica will be very small. Okay, it is very small. Okay, it is very small. It is oval in shape. Okay, it is small, oval or spherical in shape. And here in the pre-cystic stage, it will be storing the food material. Okay, stores food. Okay, it can store food, because what we said, it is non-feeding stage we are saying. So if it is not feeding, how it will be producing or having the energy? It is storing some food. So stores food in the form of glycogen granules. Okay, it stores food in the form of glycogen granules. Okay, it stores food in the form of glycogen granules. Okay, glycogen granules and also chromatoid bars. Okay, chromatoid. Okay, in the form of chromatoid bars. Okay, chromatoid bars it will be having, which means ribonucleoproteins. Okay, ribonucleoproteins will be present. Okay, ribonucleoproteins are present. Okay, ribonucleoproteins are present. So these are very few points that we have to remember regarding the pre-cystic stage. Okay, these are the points that we have to keep in mind. Okay, keep in mind. So we completed the second stage. What is the second stage which we studied just now? The pre-cystic stage we said. Okay, pre-cystic stage. Okay, so in the pre-cystic stage, these Entamoeba histolytica in the pre-cystic stage, it is present in the found in the lumen. Okay, found in the lumen of large intestine. Of large intestine. Please remember that lumen of large intestine. Now followed by the third one. Now we are going to look at is the cystic stage. Okay, the third one is the cystic stage. So here in cystic stage, this particular Entamoeba histolytica is present in what? The lumen. Okay, it is present in the lumen of large intestine. Large intestine. Now let us look at few points regarding the cystic stage, which is there in the lumen of large intestine. When you are looking in the cystic stage, please remember the Entamoeba histolytica is enclosed or covered by what? The cyst. It is covered by the cyst now. Okay, it is covered by the cyst. So that's why we are calling it as what? Cystic stage. But just prior to the cystic stage, the Entamoeba histolytica is present like this. In simple, it is not covered. Okay, it is not enclosed by what? Cyst. So this is the difference. Okay, in the pre-cystic stage and cystic stage, it is enclosed by what? Cyst now. Now carefully observe. Now the first point is that is what? It is enclosed by cyst. We are enclosed by cyst. And the next point is that this Entamoeba histolytica in cystic stage, it will be showing mitotic division of the nucleus. So here we are looking at the nucleus. We are looking at the nucleus. Now here this nucleus, okay, I'll show you here. Okay, this is the Entamoeba histolytica enclosed by the cyst. Here the nucleus will divide. Okay, two mitotic divisions will be taking place in the case of nucleus only, not the cell. Cell is not undergoing the division. It is nucleus which is undergoing the division now. So what happens now at the end of one, mitotic division, mitosis, mitosis. We know that two cells or two nuclei will be present. So this nucleus divides and forms into two nucleus now. Again, this is first mitosis, let us say, first mitosis. And in the same way, this is enclosed, of course, by what? The cyst. And in the same way, there will be second mitosis. Okay, second mitosis. When it undergoes second mitosis of what? It is again the nucleus only. So two nucleus are there, and these two nucleus will again divide, forming into how many now? 4 nucleus. So there are 4 nucleus that are present. After what? Second mitosis. So you have to remember that it is not the cell which is dividing, it is the nucleus which is dividing by what division? Mitotic division. So once the mitotic division occurs like this, now we are worried about this particular stage now, this one. So once the cystic stage, once the Entamoeba histolytica is having how many nucleus now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 nuclei. Then we call this particular stage as tetranucleate stage. We are calling this as what? Tetranucleate stage. We are calling this as the tetranucleate stage. It's because of 4 nuclei that are present. And remember, it is this tetranucleate stage of what? The cyst, which is infective stage. Otherwise, we can say like this: cyst, cystic stage, which is having how many nuclei? 4 nuclei is infective stage. So here let us remember that this is infective stage. Okay, infective stage. This is a very important point. Okay. Now cyst stage is having 4 nuclei. Because the cyst is having 4 nuclei, we are calling it as tetranucleate stage. Because in the cystic stage, it is having 4 nuclei. That's why we are calling it as tetranucleate stage, which is infective stage. And this is very important point that we have to keep in mind. Now we will look at the developing stages in the lumen of large intestine. Developing stages in the lumen of large intestine. We already said that the trophozoites, okay, these trophozoites multiply, by binary fission. Please remember, this is very important. Okay, very important. Trophozoites multiply by binary fission. Okay, by binary fission. And by multiplying by binary fission, they will be producing many daughter antamoeba. They are producing what? Many daughter antamoeba. Okay, daughter antamoeba are produced. Now these daughter antamoeba will be now entering into what? They enter into the lumen. Okay, enter into the lumen of what? Of large intestine. Now, what is present in the lumen of the large intestine? It is the daughter antamoeba are present. These daughter antamoeba only, we set them as what? They are now in the precystic stage. So, precystic stage is nothing but what? The daughter antamoeba. They are non-pathogenic, non-feeding, non-motile, we say. So, here, now, those which are there as in the precystic stage, okay, are present in what now? The lumen, okay, lumen of the large intestine. Now here we said this from the precystic stage only they are entering into what? The cystic stage. They are entering into the cystic stage. Okay, they are entering into the cystic stage, we said. And in the cystic stage, what we said? The nucleus undergoes 2 mitotic divisions. The nucleus is undergoing 2 mitotic divisions and forming into what now? Okay, let us say 2 mitotic divisions. Okay, mitotic divisions of what is undergoing 2 mitotic divisions? Nucleus. Okay, nucleus undergoes 2 mitotic divisions, and the one which is formed now will be called as what? Tetranucleate. So here we can just say that this is what now? The cystic stage. And tetranucleate stage, how it is present? It is having 1, 2, 3, 4 nuclei are present. So it is infective to man, we said. Tetranucleate stage of cyst is infective stage of man, we are saying. So this is present in the lumen of the large intestine. And here, please remember, this tetranucleate stage, okay, this tetranucleate stage will be lasting, will be there, which can cause infection only up to 10 days. If it is there outside, only up to 10 days, it is there active, which is in infective stage to man. This is tetranucleate stage. So, you have to remember that this tetranucleate, okay, cyst will be live or outside the body only for 10 days. Live, or it lives, okay, it lives outside, okay, the body, outside the body for about how many days? Only 10 days, which means within these 10 days it can infect another person. Okay, it can infect another person, but after that it may be destroyed. So we have to remember that tetranucleate of this cystic stage is infective to man, and it can live outside the body only for 10 days. So within these 10 days, how it is carried from one person to another person? It is carried through the contaminated food and water. Contaminated food and through water it will be carried from one person to another person. The main cause, by contaminated food and drinking contaminated water, this tetranucleate stage of cystic stage can be carried from one person to another person, causing infection. So this we have to be very careful that we will not eat the contaminated food and drink contaminated water. So this is a very important point. And now this cyst, that which we are calling it as the cyst, which is enclosing what, the Entamoeba histolytica, is made up of proteins. It is made up of proteins. Okay, cyst is made up of proteins, and that's why when an infected person, okay, defecates this cystic stage in his fecal matter, and when it is carried to another person through the mouth into the esophagus, into the stomach, then followed by small intestine and large intestine, we have to note that because of the presence of cyst, it can protect itself from unfavorable conditions. The enzymes that are released in the mouth cannot destroy this. The enzymes that are released, especially the gastric juice present in the stomach, cannot destroy. And here, once it crosses the stomach and enters into the small intestine, in the small intestine there will be, okay, please remember, in the small intestine there is one enzyme called as what? Trypsin. This enzyme has the ability to digest this protein, or let us say directly, trypsin that is produced in the small intestine or present in the small intestine can digest what? The wall of the Entamoeba histolytica. That is nothing but cyst, which is made up of proteins, can be destroyed with the help of what? Trypsin. Now we call it as excistation. Means what? It is no more with the cyst wall. Now. This is what we are saying. With four nuclei. Enclosed with what we said. Now the cyst we are saying. Okay. This is the cyst. Now let us see this. By the action of what? Trypsin. What happened now? The cyst, okay, is ruptured, and it is having only the Entamoeba histolytica, which we are calling this as what? Excistation we are calling it as, okay? Excistation we are calling, which means here completely it is apart from the cyst wall. This is the, let us say that this is the cyst now. So this is what happens, okay? So here this is what happens. Now here what we have seen, the trypsin acted upon the cyst, which is made up of proteins, digested the cyst wall, and that we are calling it as excistation. And now here it is completely naked, it is not enclosed by what? Cyst. And now this Entamoeba histolytica is no more called as cyst, it is called as metacyst. Please remember this word, it is called as now metacyst. And each metacyst is having how many nuclei? 4 nuclei. Each metacyst is having 4 nuclei. Now this again, this metacyst, each metacyst like this, many will be formed. So each metacyst will again undergo mitotic division. Those 4 nuclei will again undergo mitotic division. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So one metacyst is having 8 nuclei. One metacyst is having 8 nuclei. So here we have to remember this now. Now one metacyst is having how many? 8 nuclei. Okay, one metacyst is having 8 nuclei. Please remember this. One metacyst is having 8 nuclei. So 8 nuclei. Now what happens? Each nuclei, now the cytokinesis will be taking place, producing how many cells, how many Entamoeba, daughter Entamoeba now? 8 daughter Entamoeba will be produced. Okay, 8 daughter Entamoeba will be produced like this. So from one metacyst, this is one metacyst. Okay, this is called as one metacyst. So from one metacyst, there are 8 daughter Entamoeba that are produced. Okay, these are all what now? 8 daughter ant amoeba. Okay, 8 daughter ant amoeba are produced. Okay, 8 daughter ant amoeba are produced. Otherwise we call it as what? Otherwise we call it as what? They can also be called as metacystic trophozoites. Metacystic trophozoites. These are called as metacystic trophozoites. Okay, these are called as metacystic trophozoites. 8 daughter ant amoeba are formed from each metacyst. From each metacyst, when the nuclei, okay, is divided. Okay, here what is the division that occurred? Mitosis. Okay, nucleus. Okay, mitosis of nucleus. Okay, nucleus is the one which has undergone the division. 4 nucleus divided into 8 now. So now these 8 nuclei will get separated into individual daughter ant amoeba, which are called as metacystic trophozoites. Okay, metacystic trophozoites. Now we will quickly see the sequence of stages in new host. So in the new host or into the new host, how is this will be entered? We said that it is through the contaminated food and water, by drinking contaminated water. So once it enters, what is entering? Please remember, infective stage. What is the infective stage of ant amoeba histolytica? It is the cyst. Okay, it is the cyst. This cyst, it is there having how many nuclei? 4 nuclei. That's why we are calling it as tetranucleate cyst. That's why we are calling it as the tetranucleate cyst. Now, when the tetranucleate cyst enters inside into the body, what happens? Excitation is taking place. We already said it is because of what? The trypsin. Okay, in what? In which place? It is in the small intestine. Excitation. Cyst is ruptured, destroyed by the trypsin. Okay, by the trypsin. Okay, by the trypsin. And now the cyst matures. Okay, the cyst matures means what? The 4 nuclei divides by mitosis, forming 8 nuclei, and again they get separated. Okay, which are called as what? Each one is called as metacystic trophozoites, and these metacystic trophozoites are now completely matured, and they are called as what? Trophozoites. These trophozoites will be invading what? The wall of large intestine. These trophozoites are invading the wall of large intestine, as we already have seen this. Okay, if this is the wall of large intestine, which area of the large intestine? It is the mucosa. It is the mucosa and submucosa. It is the mucosa and submucosa of large intestine is invaded by the trophozoite. How is it possible for the trophozoites to invade the wall of large intestine? These trophozoites will be releasing one enzyme. What is that enzyme that they release? It is called as what? A proteolytic enzyme called as histolysine. Okay, histolysine. And this histolysine digests the walls of the mucosa and submucosa, so that the trophozoites will enter inside into the mucosa and submucosa. They invade the wall of large intestine. There they develop. Growth is taking place of what? The trophozoites, and they form as the mature trophozoites. Mature trophozoites. This is what happens, and from then on, you know, these mature trophozoites only will be entering again into what? The lumen. Into the lumen, which will be undergoing pre-cystic stage and cystic stage. This is what we have to remember when we talk about the sequence of stages in the new host. And this is the whole life cycle of ant amoeba histolytica. This is how it is using only one host, that is humans, to complete its life cycle. It is using only one host to complete its life cycle. So in the next class, we are going to discuss about what is the treatment and what are the pathogenicity. Okay, how it attacks and what is the cause, or what is happening when this ant amoeba histolytica attacks the human beings in the large intestine. We are going to discuss about that, and also the treatment that will be given for this particular disease. Thank you so much.